Okay, our beloveds, this is take 2 on a sensitive topic. So we shall do it differently today. You're learning how your new reality brought on by COVID is here to specifically teach you what you on your very unique journey is designed to learn at this particular phase or juncture of your life. We are all being squeezed through the eye of the needle with epiphanies and opportunities to grow and resentment no more for past harms caused. Once we really look at them, recognizing that those people did the best that they could, understanding the harm that it caused within our own bodies, and then moving forward. And while it is never this simple, because as those memories from past traumas are reignited, your original fight or flight response is also reignited, thereby giving you an opportunity to play it out differently this time. But it's not just pie in the sky, hippy-dippy, love and peace response. No, you need to dig into why your original response was not ideal and how you can do it from a perspective of this person did the best that they could, and yet it traumatized me. So you pull the blame back from the person, recognizing that you're pointing the finger at somebody who is not capable of carrying that burden or that responsibility. And instead, we now point the finger at self and say, how can you heal from this past wound so that in the future, when this trauma is triggered, you recognize, feel, understand, appreciate, honor, and embrace, most importantly, that you do have new options now. You cannot see what your coping mechanisms have been up to now if you are on autopilot. However, once you recognize that each and every trigger that you experience is just a re-traumatization of a childhood wound, when you grasp that concept, you can then be slow to respond, quick to reflect, and to observe what your inner world looks and feels like in this moment of immense distress. Now, what if somebody came to you in that exact moment and said, hold on, come here, give me a hug. I just want to hug you and hold you and let you know that you are safe. Whatever that bugaboo out there is, it cannot hurt you. It cannot hurt you any longer. Come here, let me hold you and help you to feel safe within your body. And just let this initial reaction pass. Feel what it feels like to be safe in this moment. And that you have new choices that you're unaware of. Believe in yourself enough to just sit here and let me hold you and stroke you like the young child that you were when this original trauma occurred. This is what Kati was speaking of the other day in her somatic experience in marriage counseling, where her therapist had Jerry hold Kati tenderly while her arms were crossed in front of her and she was leaning back into him, and he put his arms around her. She was permitted to cry, and he was required to hold her and to tell her that he was sorry and to soothe her, to remind her that at this point in time, she was safe in her body. When you re-traumatize yourself by remembering those memories from the past where you were harmed, but you are now held and soothed by ideally the person who hurt you, but anyone will do. It helps to heal those inner wounds, those inner traumas, those inner belief systems that you are not safe. So just believe us when we say that all of these moments right now where each of you are being tested in unique ways to become a better version of you, a kinder version, a more loving version, a more respectful version, and a more grown-up version, meaning that you own your choices, your body, your responsibilities, as well as your choices. And when you take the fullness of that and create healthy space around you where you set healthy boundaries and begin to honor you before all else, the safety, the security, and the measurement of self-worth, this is where your solutions lie. Find them within your inner being. Figure out what helps you to feel safe within your body. Drugs, alcohol, porn, unhealthy sex, overwork, over-exercise, over-pleasing, overdoing. All those responses are designed to numb you so that you can avoid the pain and increase your serotonin and your dopamine at times in order to give you a high that you get from laughter, from joy, from love, from being seen and heard, from being honored by those in the life around you. You will begin to see how there are different highs brought by different stimulants, and some are healthy and some are unhealthy coping mechanisms. And as you begin to attach to the ones that really serve you well and to recognize and walk away from the ones that don't, you will find a greater sense of health and balance in your lives as you move forward. It's not that easy, and yet it's not that difficult once you have created new neural pathways which guide you into a different reactionary or response system. Your autonomic nervous system needs to be retrained so that your automatic go-to is to healthy coping mechanisms now versus unhealthy ones which helped you to survive up to this point and time in humanity's expansion and transition from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. It is where you all are moving, and you will ultimately get there in one way or another, but we wish to just explain to you why this works. It is the self-soothing mechanism that should have been taught to you when you were a young child, crying and asking for attention or to have one of your many needs met. It was taught that you needed to figure it out on your own, and you created other unhealthy coping mechanisms after you were shown and taught that the world would not meet your each and every need when you were so vulnerable. So now, go back to that state that you were in as a young child and learn to be vulnerable with one another. When you ask others to help love you, to help meet your needs through an honest and authentic and vulnerable plea, more often than not, the person that you're speaking to will have a compassionate and loving heart and will honestly be in somewhat of a similar circumstance and will meet you where you are at and will also learn and experience what it is to be vulnerable and to have your needs met. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so it is. Namaste.